Ella the Lhasapoo by Katie Girls Forever and originated by Roger Hargreaves. Ella is a dog who is a sort of hybrid of a Lhasa Apso and a poodle, making her a Lhasapoo. She lives in a house with her owner, Little Miss Heartfelt, along with her husband, Mr. Tickle, and their kids, the oldest being Mr. Healer, the triplets Mr. Wiggles, Mr. Jiggles, and Little Miss Sweetie, the younger daughter, Little Miss Tenderheart, and the youngest one, baby Little Miss Arms. The whole family loved Ella so much, especially Little Miss Heartfelt, since she was the one who adopted her in the first place and provided a lot of love, care, and attention she needed. She was very happy with her.
Ellie!
Zooed Little Miss Heartfelt.
Ellie is our doggy.
Giggled Little Miss Tenderheart.
I love her.
Said Little Miss Sweetie.
She's so adorable.
Grinned Mr. Healer.
We sure love a dog.
Said Mr. Wiggles.
She's a great dog.
Loved Mr. Jiggles. Hey, somebody needs a doggy tickle. Juggled Mr. Jiggle.
Doggy.
Gurgled baby Little Miss Arms. Ella loved to play with them in the backyard. She loves to run around and frolic with the butterflies, and she'd even squeal in happiness like,
I'm so happy!
The whole family couldn't be more happy than how they are as well. That night, when the Ticklefelts went to bed, they put Ella to bed as well as she was tired out. Little Miss Heartfelt gently kissed her on the forehead.
Good night, Ellie,
she said softly.
Sweet dreams.
Ella smiled and fell asleep. But no sooner had they left the room, Ella woke up, lying in bed, and said,
I'm tired of doing the same things I did in this household,
she said.
I want to do something that I bet no dog would ever do.
The Ticklefelts didn't know this, but Ella can speak English, just when they're not around.
I know!
She exclaimed.
I'll go to Wubby Cottage to see my best friend Puppy, and ask if she wanted to do something with me. I'm sure the others wouldn't mind that I love to see her.
Shortly after that, Ella went out the house through the doggy door and headed off to Wubby Cottage. The following day, Little Miss Heartfelt and the other Ticklefelts woke up and walked over to see Ella. But when they went into the bedroom where she slept, the dog bed was empty. Ella had gone. Little Miss Heartfelt was first to panic.
Oh no! Where's Ella?
She said in a worry. No one had an answer at all. Where Ella was walking down the street, hoping to find the right address to Bubby's home. For a little dog like her, she certainly knows how to watch for the road in case there's vehicles coming. And she always had to look out for people walking by her. When she made it to Wubby Cottage, she went up to the window and looked for Bubby from there. She was in the hutch playing with her toys. Ella went through the window and stood in front of the hutch to speak to her.
Hi, Puppy.
Ella greeted.
Hi, Ella. How are you?
Said Bubby.
Amazing. I was actually bored at my house.
Ella responded.
But I was dropping by and see if we can go play together as two pets ourselves. Sounds good,
said Bubby. Ella lifted the latch of Bubby's hutch to let her out, and Bubby hopped out of her hutch and went outside to play with Ella.
Let's go have fun,
said Ella.
Right behind you,
Bubby responded. Meanwhile, back with the Ticklefelts, Little Miss Heartfelt was very upset about the dog leaving.
Why would Ellie leave us?
She cried.
We didn't do anything wrong to her.
Oh, we didn't do anything to upset her, Mr. Tickle comforted. Oh, I'm sure she'll be back soon.
Don't cry, Mom,
said Mr. Healer.
We'll put up some posters of her to tell everyone that she's missing. Yeah,
said Mr. Wiggles.
We can help. And once we find her,
Mr. Jiggles added,
we'll take her home.
Little Miss Sweetie added again.
And we keep loving her so very much,
said Little Miss Tenderheart.
We love Ella, Mama, Dada,
said baby little Miss Arms.
Thank you all so very much for your support. I love you all,
said little Miss Heartfelt. Meanwhile, Ella and Bubby were still in the backyard, and they were playing their favourite game, hide and seek.
Okay, Bubby,
said Ella.
I'll hide somewhere and you count to 10. Okay,
said Bubby. And she started to count up to 10 while Ella ran off to hide somewhere in the backyard.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Then she heard a noise coming from outside the backyard.
What was that? I must go see,
she said. She crawled out of the bush and saw a dark red truck. It looked like it was going to stop at the traffic light or find a parking spot. For a second or two, it didn't make a move, so she decided to go and see what was going on, as she's aware that there might be someone who needed help. When Ella went up to the back of the truck, she was thinking that it might be a small mail van belonging to the postman. But it wasn't. It was an animal catcher van filled with captured and upset animals, consisting of a blue spotty dog, an angry fat grey cat, a pink timid pig, an orange fox, and a big grey elephant. Ella looked at them all in there, being locked up.
Oh my, what happened to you?
she said. We are all the animals that are captured and trapped in this van, said the elephant. And we're taken to a private animal shelter.
Are you serious?
said Ella in concern and surprise.
I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful. 100%,
answered the elephant. Oh, I don't want to be taken away, squealed the pig. I want to be free. Oh, man, said the fox. The blue dog couldn't talk, but instead she barked out,
bow, bow.
Oh, you're breaking my paws, complained the cat.
Don't worry,
Ella responded to the animals.
I'll find a key to get you all out of here.
But before she could do that, someone walked over and grabbed her by the scruff of the neck.
Ouch! It hurts! Who's grabbing me like that? She
exclaimed. It was a mean old woman with a spiteful, mean grin, who picked up Ella by one hand and snickered at her. You silly little pup, you think you can get away from me? I'll put you in the van along with the other pesky animals. Ella struggled to move and started yelping out loud. The animals huddled together and see what they had to do to save her. We're going to stop this woman from putting her inside the van, said the pig. Where's your nice occasion? Jump out and attack her, commanded the cat. As the mean lady unlocked the door, the animals ran out of the van and started to attack her to let Ella go. Oh, get off me, she exclaimed.
No, we won't,
the elephant confronted.
Not until you let that poor little pup go and set us free.
Ah, give it back that key, the lady cried. Yeah, too late, sneered the fox as he swiped it from her. You'll never get your key back now. Respect my authority, shouted the cat as he and the blue dog hit her in the face. Yow! Screamed the woman. She finally let Ella go, and Ella ran all the way back to Wubby Cottage. And the woman just run off. Ski lady, we're going home, taunted the cat.
Bow, 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 bow.
The blue dog barked in agreement. The animals left and went all the way back to their own homes. Ella ran to Bubby in tears, very upset.
Ella, there you are. What's the matter? And why are you crying?
Bubby asked.
There was a mean lady who was kidnapping animals and she tried to kidnap me.
Ella cried.
Oh no, that's terrible. And those poor animals.
Bubby replied and gave Ella a hug and nubbed her face.
I want to stay and play with you, and I love your nubs,
Ella said.
And I also feel homesick and I miss my family.
Ella hugged her back and not letting her go. Then she saw someone coming out. It was Mr. Nubbums and Miss Snookums. They were going to play with Bubby when they spotted her. Listen, Miss Snookums, it's Ella, said Mr. Nubbums.
Hi, Ellie,
said little Miss Snookums.
What are you doing here?
Then they petted her and made her happy. Ella jumped up, her tail wagging, and licked their faces.
Ah, Ellie!
Laughed Miss Snookums.
That tickles!
Giggled little Miss Snookums.
I wonder what she's doing here with Bubby, and without little Miss Heartfelt and the other Ticklefelts.
Mr. Nubbins asked.
Gee, I don't know,
replied little Miss Snookums.
Let's tell her parents that she's here with us.
They took them inside the house and went to talk to their parents.
Mommy, Daddy!
Little Miss Snookums said.
Guess who came over to tell her?
They handed her to their mama.
Ella's here!
Squeaked little Miss Whoopi, holding her close. Oh, Ella! Mr. Nubby swooned. But how did she get here by herself?
That's what I want to know.
Mr. Nubbins responded.
Maybe she knows where she lives so she can come to play with Bubby.
That makes sense, said Mr. Nubby, picking up Bubby in his arms. Well, it's best we bring Ella home. We wouldn't want to see the Ticklefelts worry about her so much like what happened to us when we lost Bubby.
That's right, Nubby,
said little Miss Whoopi.
They brought back Bubby when she left our house, so it will be nice to bring Ella back to return our thanks to them.
So they went to bring Ella back home. Well, she felt loads better that she was no longer homesick. But at Heartbeat Cottage, things were no better. Poor little Miss Heartfelt, Mr. Tickle, Mr. Healer, Mr. Wiggles, Mr. Jiggles, little Miss Sweetie, little Miss Tenderheart, and baby little Miss Arms had filed all the posters of Ella's disappearance. They posted them all around the town, and so far, no one had called them back to see if they found her. The hours passed. It was getting very dark, and Ella was still missing, and little Miss Heartfelt was feeling more sad than ever. Even her husband and kids were beginning to lose hope that Ella would never be found. They looked at Ella's stuff one last time. Little Miss Heartfelt picked up the squeaky bone toy that Ella used to play with. Tears streamed down her face. Mr. Tickle wrapped one of his long arms around her. Oh, little Miss Heartfelt, he began. But she was so sad to even think of being tickled or being comforted.
I miss Ellie.
She cried. She hugged her family and they carried along with her. And they burst into tears.
We'll never see her again!
Wailed little Miss Heartfelt.
What's gonna happen to her, Bob?
Cried Mr. Healer, hugging his mum.
I don't know, Mother Hill.
Sniffed little Miss Heartfelt.
I just don't know. I miss our dog.
Sobbed little Miss Sweetie loudly.
They do.
Snuffled Mr. Wiggles tearfully.
They three.
Replied Mr. Jiggles emotionally.
Daddy.
Snuffled little Miss Tenderheart, holding her father tightly.
Does this mean we have to get rid of her stuff or get another puppy?
As it seems that way, we have to. Mr. Tickle responded mournfully.
I want Ella back. I miss her.
Wailed baby little Miss Arms.
Silly old doggy. Silly. Wee. Shut up, Keelu.
The poor Ticklefelt family continued to wail and cry all throughout the night. Oh, come back, my precious Ella! But luckily for them, help was on the way. No sooner or later, Mr. Nubby, little Miss Whoopi, Mr. Nubbums and little Miss Snookums all headed to the front door of Heartbeat Cottage. Mr. Nubby pressed the doorbell. The Ticklefelts opened the door, looking all filled with sadness. "Oh, what's the matter, everyone?" asked Mr. Nubby nicely.
Ella's missing!
Sobbed little Miss Heartfelt. "We've looked everywhere for her," sniffed Mr. Tickle.
But no one has found her.
Continued Mr. Healer mournfully.
We're afraid that she's gone.
Little Miss Sweetie snuffled.
And we can't do anything about it.
Added Mr. Wiggles emotionally.
And the worst part is...
Began Mr. Jiggles tearfully.
We will never see her again.
Cried little Miss Tenderheart.
We want Ella!
Wailed baby little Miss Arms. And they all burst into tears again. "Oh, she hasn't gone missing," reassured Mr. Nubby. "We found her in the backyard while she was playing with Puppy,"
There she is.
said little Miss Nuggins, presenting Ella to them. The Ticklefelts stopped crying and started smiling. And they giggled. And they chuckled. And then they laughed out loud. Little Miss Harvell burst out into a delighted squee. Her entire family huddled around and gave an enormous chorus of cheers and squeals. And then they gave her a hug.
Oh, thank you so very much for finding her. I was so worried when she left to see Puppy,
said little Miss Heartfelt. "It's our pleasure," replied Mr. Nubby. "Feels like pure coincidence when one family finds another family's pet and brings it back to them."
It sure is, Mr. Nubby. It sure is.
Little Miss Heartfelt added with relief as she held her dog again.
Ella, I'm so happy you're safe and sound and you're back home to us.
Ella gave her face a lick and wiped the remaining tears from her eyes. Later that evening, Ella was lying on her bed, chewing her squeaky dog bone toy. "Hee, somebody needs a tickle-la-la," juggled Mr. Tickle, giving her a tickle.
Aw, Ella.
Swooned little Miss Heartfelt.
She's Puppy like Puppy,
said Mr. Healer gleefully.
She's our Puppy.
Dear little Sweetie,
Like Puppy like Ellie.
laughed Mr. Wiggles.
Puppy Ellie.
Added Mr. Jiggles.
We love you,
said little Miss Tenderheart sweetly.
Ella.
Gurgled baby little Miss Arms. Ella looked at all of her owners with her beautiful round puppy dog eyes and thought to herself,
Home sweet home. There's no place like home. Like my story? Give a like and comment and subscribe to this channel and Katie Millie's channel if you want to see more of us and more of our stories. Goodbye, everybody!